The next thing we're going to work with is what's known as a do-while loop. What this does is it allows a program to repeat an action until a certain condition is met. So what we want to do is we're going to do something really simple. We're going to enter in a starting number, and then we're going to have the program add 1 to it 10 times, and then end the loop. So let's go into our button, and let's create a couple variables real quick. I'm going to create dim number as integer. We'll do it like that. I'm also going to create dim max number, numer, gotta be, as integer. And I think that's all we need. Yeah, that's all we need. So when we enter in a number here in the text box, it's right now called text box 1. I'm going to change that to be appropriate, and we'll call it number text box. Is go in here, we need the try parse. So we're working with an integer. Integer.try parse. Pulling the information from, let's check it again, the number text box. Dot text, and I'm assigning it to number. In this instance, I told you I want this to run 10 times greater than the number, or 10 times, add 1 each time 10 times. Many different ways to say that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make max number equal number plus 10. So that will give max number its value. This is where it gets a little bit trickier. I'm going to zoom in here because this is what you're not used to seeing. We're going to have the program do a do-while loop. So do-while number is going to be less than max number. So this will perform whatever we want it to do between the do-while words and the word loop until number is no longer less than max number. So a very common mistake early on is it may look like your program freezes, and that would be because this loop never ends, stuck in an eternal loop. So that means that you did something wrong, is what it means. So what we want to see happen here is I want to put the numbers out here to label 4, which we should rename result label. Very good. I'm going to go in here, I'm going to say result label dot text equals itself result label dot text and, if I can get it, and number, and then we're going to separate it just with a comma with some spacing. So let me show you that again. This is where we want to put the answer in the result label. We want to keep the text that's there, put the number on the end, and then add a comma after it. That's what we want to do. Now, as it stands right now, number's value will always remain what we put it as. Max number will always remain what we put it as, or what it calculated out to be. In this instance, this loop will still run eternally. We need to tell number to increase by 1. So number plus equals, meaning number equals itself plus 1. What this will do is this will allow the number to increase so that at some point the loop breaks. And I think that's all we need for our code. So I'll go ahead and hit run here. Move it so you can see it. If I type in the number 0, This loop should run. Yes, it does. Starting at 0, runs up to 9. What would happen if I increase number above where it printed it out? Let's take a look. Am I still going to get 0 through 9? See, I'll type in a 0 again. Keep in mind that this time I made it where number increases first and then prints out the result. Now I get 1 through 10. So either way, what's happening is if we increase it before it prints out, then we're going to get that final number where our loop breaks, because 0 plus 10 is 10, because it has not, in the code, reached the loop yet to go back up and say, we don't equal each other anymore. So it'll print out the 10 here, but if we increase it after the printout, which I need to stop the code to move it back down, then in that case, it will just print 0 through 9, as you can see here. The best practice is to increase what is controlling your loop, or in some instances you'll decrease, right above the word loop. So that way you are sure that whatever needs to happen in that sequence happens. So we're going to be experimenting with this pretty much through the end of the semester.